I'm here at 7 Adam Park. It was here to this day, on the 12th of February 1942, 82 years ago, that the HQ of the 1st Battalion of the Cambridgeshire Regiment moved in to help defend the British lines against the advancing Japanese army. The fighting in this region was so intense that it became known as Hellfire's Corner.
Right, so Ethan and I are here at the Elias Community Centre in Pasir Ris, and today we're going to be taking on the Japanese with our Cambridgeshire Regiment. We each have a half platoon size 500 point platoon.
So this here is our first platoon for our Cambridgeshire Regiment. In this platoon I have a first lieutenant with his buddy over here, a forward artillery observer, 2 infantry squads. This one is the inexperienced one. Total of 10 men, 8 rifles with a loader, 1 LMG and 1 NCO. The regular section, which is 6 rifles, 1 being a loader, an LMG and an NCO. With our vehicles, we have 2 universal Bren carriers, 1 regular MMG team, and 1 regular light mortar team. Then moving on to the second platoon, we have another first lieutenant with his friend, 2 inexperienced infantry squads, 7 rifles, 1 LMG, 1 NCO. The second one, 6 rifles with the loader, 1 LMG and an NCO. Forward artillery observer, a regular infantry squad of 6 rifles with a loader, 1 LMG and 1 NCO. A forward truck, an NMG team, and a 2-pounder gun team, all regular as well.
In the first platoon, we have a second lieutenant with 2 rifleman squad and an LMG in it, a Hargo tank and a sniper. The second platoon has another lieutenant, 3 identical infantry squads with LMGs and an Air Force forward observer. And with the third platoon, we have the captain and a grenadier squad mounted on bicycles with 1 medium machine gun, 1 medium mortar and a sniper.
Today we'll be playing Scenario 9, Point Defense, page 144 from the Ball Action 2nd Edition rulebook. In this particular scenario, today we'll be playing the defenders, of course, defending this ridge line as we described earlier. So in this mission, we get to place 3 objective markers, as made by these little British flags, within our setup zone and about 6 inches from our table edge and 24 inches from each other. So today, my 3 objectives will be: number 1, this water tower, of course; number 2, this house, and this dip in the ridge about to saddle; and my 3rd objective will be near this estate around the top with the tennis court.
This indicator on the map of Singapore shows where Ethan and I are defending along the British lines of defense. It was vital that the British hold the line. With the Japanese pushing in hard from the northwest, they were threatening to cut off Singapore's water supply, the reservoirs in the center of the island, on the top of our picture. And once they had gained the high ground, they would be able to call an artillery fire directly on the city of Singapore. The water tower still exists today, as can be seen in this photograph. It towers above the red-roofed houses of the Wessex Estate along Woking Road. With the Cambridgeshires having only recently arrived before the start of this battle, Ethan and I, although we were dug in along the ridge, only afforded ourselves soft cover. The Cambridgeshires' elevated positions, nevertheless, did give them good lines of sight on the advancing Japanese forces.
The Japanese moved from the low ground here in Adams Park, and they worked their way up towards the high ground to where the British were defending.
As the morning sun rose on the eastern horizon, Captain Ethan of the Akoi 1st Battalion, the Cambridgeshire Regiment, peered through his binoculars to survey the field in front of him. A light mist hung across the trim grassland along the Portsdown Road, birds chirping in the trees as they woke from their slumber. The muffled explosions of artillery shells, however, was an unpleasant reminder of the work that lay ahead for Captain Ethan and his men. Just as Captain Ethan looked through his field binoculars, he spotted the unmistakable red and white of the Japanese war flags. The enemy were launching a surprise assault against his positions. Squads of Japanese infantry, led by Rikugan Tai Nabil-san of the 41st Imperial Regiment, were dashing through the jungle and streams below Captain Ethan's position, bellowing murderous war cries and firing their rifles wildly in an effort to suppress the Cambridgeshires. Bullets whizzed over the British positions. Instinctively, Captain Ethan grabbed his Lee Enfield rifle and ordered his men to occupy prepared positions along the ridgeline. "Ready yourselves, men! Load! Wait for my command!" While his men were inexperienced, he knew they stood a chance if they could pin the Japanese down on the open fields below. "Steady! Hold! Hold! Fire!" Rifle and machine gun fire began to pour from the ridgeline, mercilessly cutting down the first few squads of advancing Japanese, who were frantically trying to cross the open ground ahead of them. A few operating brain carriers began harassing the Japanese, emptying clip after clip of .303 ammunition down into the Japanese ranks before quickly reversing behind the ridge.
Lieutenant Lim had been empowering his squad to charge towards the water tower. But Lieutenant Ethan's medium machine gun team, well positioned within the shadows of the water tower, mercilessly rained fire down on Lim's line of advance. Casualties were mounting high as squad after squad were being whittled down. Lieutenant Lim's men bravely pressed forward, determined to breach the Cambridgeshire's line. Despite their high casualty, Lim's men soon reached the perimeter of the estate. They rushed towards the old colonial building with a cry of "Banzai", determined to gain the ground through hand-to-hand combat.
Right, so we're going to have close combat. Eugene has banzai to this building. There are 10 inexperienced Cambridgeshire men in this building and 4 Japanese. The Japanese are regular. They're going to need threes to hit, right? So
Yes.
4 dice needing threes, and then 10 dice needing fours. Roll away. Okay, so that's
It's a 1 kill.
2, 3, 4.
That's
5.
yeah.
5. That's all the Japanese dead.
And you got one.
And no Cambridge.
One
Cambridge. Well done, Cambridgeshires.
Sadly, it was all too much to ask of Lim's brave warrior, and it was the Cambridgeshires who could be heard rejoicing as Lim's men fell back.
With Lim's assault faltering to his left, Nabil-san, with scant regard for his own safety and in keeping with the traditions of his samurai ancestors, mounted his steed and rode out to take a closer look at the ridgeline. And there, near the tennis court, Nabil-san spotted A Company's 2-pounder AT gun. Wanting to shield his armor, Nabil-san immediately ordered a smoke barrage to obstruct the 2-pounder's line of sight. Mortar shell after mortar shell was lobbed, creating a screen that shielded his right flank's advance, providing Lieutenant Zul-san with the perfect opportunity to rush forward with the support of Nabil-san's Hago light tank.
A pair of Zeros, returning from their sortie over Singapore Harbour, had spotted the raging battle below, their pilots eagerly eyeing for an opportunity to deliver a lethal strike to the defenders along the ridge. Having seen the smoke marker on the hill, the pilots pushed their silver machines into a dive. Hearing the wail of engines from above, Lieutenant Berger yelled instructions to the gunner on the truck. "Bogey! 3 o'clock! Fire at will!" The gunner's quick reaction forced the first Zero off course. However, the second Zero's pilot kept his aim. and his bomb came crashing into the Cambridge Hills with devastating effect. A huge explosion erupted on the ridgeline, eliminating the threat from the anti-tank gun and also killing several riflemen from Lieutenant Berger's 2nd and 3rd sections.
Sensing a lull in the British fire, Lieutenant Zulsan, supported by a Hargo tank from the 5th Division, renewed his assault against the British left. Pressing up Woking Road towards their estate and his objective. Dazed by the attack from above, Lieutenant Berger's men stood little chance as the screaming attackers banzaied into his position. With his regulars brushed aside and the Japanese bursting into the building on his left, Lieutenant Berger had no choice but to order a withdrawal. Berger's inexperienced troops, under the circumstances, conducted themselves in true British spirit and quickly formed a defensive perimeter on the far side of the tennis court, leaving Zulsan to claim an objective.
As dusk fell, and with both forces exhausted from the day's intense battle, both forces disengaged, seeking to consolidate their positions, bring up fresh supplies, and tend to their wounded. Ethan and Nabil-san both knew that the battle for Water Tower Hill had only just begun.
Right, so our battle's just ended. We've got Nabil, who commanded the Japanese, and Ethan, who was in command of the Cambridges. So how do you guys think the battle went?
Shall I go first?
Sure.
Yeah, I think for the Japanese, it went better than we could have hoped. Yeah, I think looking at the map, first impressions was that it's going to be a bloodbath trying to get through even half of the map, given how open it was. But I think we got lucky halfway through the battle and somehow we pulled through. Yeah.
We had a pretty strong position, but halfway through, thanks to the expertly conducted air attack, that managed to wipe out some key positions in our center. The Japanese did manage to get a foothold on the far left over here on the ridge and force us out of that objective on the far left there.
Yeah, I think a key moment in that game was that smoke that you placed in front of the anti-tank gun.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one thing in bolt action which most people don't really use. It's smoke. So I mean, after many battles that I played here, I come to realize how important smoke was, and I think it really showed in this battle. Because if we did not smoke that 2-pounder, Zul's tank couldn't have functioned as well as it did. Yeah. So that was pretty crucial.
Definitely, again, to echo you, the smoke, it was a pain in the butt. It sat there from the start to the end of the game, essentially denying a lot of shooting from what was our second 2-pounder that was blown to bits by a plane, and then later some infantry as well. Definitely provide very good cover and help the advance on the left side, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you guys enjoy the game?
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Hope for more games again.
Then you're not allowed. You can't. Your brand carrier will run away.
That's 36. That's probably 36.
You're in doubt measure.
When in doubt measure. Or I could just shift it in. They could hit me with that.
Hey, smile. Right, so where are we?
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you later. Oh, you want to do a video?
Yeah, if you want.
Although, let me, well, my voice might sound really weird. The Portsdown Road area, you've been there. There's an army base there. And this is the Wessex estate. And it's part of a bigger estate called Adam Road Estate. To defend up against 1,500, no, start again, sorry. Right, so Ethan and I, we're here at the Pasir Ris Community Centre in Singapore, and today we're going to be playing as the Cambridgeshires up against the Japanese. Ethan, what's the significance of this battlefield?
Well, if I can direct your attention to this hill, hence the name Water Tower Hill. This battle was sorry.
It's okay. Just go on. Just go on.
Just go on. Right, so Ethan, okay, start again, sorry.
It's okay.
Cambridge's HQ was at 7 Adam Road. But I'm adding my own little twists on things. Are you doing a lot of voice footage? Commands?
Yeah.
So whoever gets the captain is the commander. Is that right? Yeah.
So here's my idea. I'm going to send all of this, and then I'm going to go in by this side.
Skulls are one.
We're becoming quite fond of your one.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, can you feedback to a 4? 6.